pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. This is the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors meeting at the Mitchell County Courthouse. It's 8:30. We have an agenda before us. Let everybody check it out. Do you have any motions to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Jim has made a motion.
Second.
Mike has seconded.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Next, we will approve the minutes of April 20th and the claims. So, check through the minutes. Hopefully you've read them. Do we have any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and claims.
Marty's made a motion.
I'll second.
Todd has seconded.
Any discussion? Roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Todd?
Aye.
Moving on. County Attorney, general discussion. Are you out there, Mark?
Yes, I am.
I will let you have the floor.
I don't have too much to report other than the emails on the Kephart situation that you've all been receiving about the trailer and the semi being parked on the county right of way. Other than that, I don't have anything to report.
Do we have anything for the county attorney? Okay, Mark, thank you. Move on. We'll approve the sheriff's report for March, and we'll let the sheriff have the floor.
Good morning. I have March fees for you this morning. They totaled $7,155.57.
Do you have any motions to approve the sheriff's report?
I'll move to approve the sheriff's report. Second.
Jim has made a motion. Mike has seconded. Any further discussion?
Roll call.
Oh, that's right.
Todd?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye. Okay.
That's all I have for you, unless you have questions for me this morning.
Deputy coming in?
Yeah, so we should have a new deputy starting the first week in May. We hired Chuck Bankston. He's former North Springs policeman and Clear Lake police officer. He's got 18 years of experience. Going to be a good fit for us. You won't miss him when you see him. He's like 6'8".
6'8".
Intimidating them.
Yeah, big fella. Very nice. So we'll get him going the first week in May. So then we should be set for the summer and be good to go. We have a lot of good applications. One applicant pulled his application. He didn't know if he wanted to go back working nights and holidays and weekends and family considerations, so I understand that. Still left us with plenty to choose from. Some employees or some applicants come to us and they have signed contracts with the agencies that they are currently working for. So that essentially means either they have to buy out their contract or the county buys out their contract. So we have applicants like that too, and most of them are willing to spend the money to buy out their own contract to come to work. But in Chuck's case, that was not the issue. He just comes with a clean slate and really has done well over the last 18 years, and his wife's from Mitchell County, and his wife's family, my understanding, farms kind of the southwest part of the county, and so they're essentially kind of coming back home, and hopefully we'll have Chuck and his wife and family moved into the county by the first of the year, so they're looking for a place now, and they'll be there sold, and then they'll be part of Mitchell County.
Very good.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
good.
thanks for asking, because I go about that stuff and I don't know that it matters to anybody but me, but I'm glad you brought it up because I wanted to mention it this morning. You guys need to know, so.
It matters to us, so we
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, you bet. So,
Mark actually asked the question.
oh, way to go, Mark.
That's it.
Team effort.
That's
That's all I have unless you guys have more. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yep.
Moving on, number 5, county engineer update.
Morning.
Rick.
We, last Friday put our, rock run map out for quotes. Our paint maps are out for quotes. So, as I said before, I think paint's gonna be more expensive. We put a note in there that if we see the budget can't take the prices, we'll adjust accordingly, although we still need paint. Another increase that we're noticing this year also is pipe prices. For an example, we ordered I don't remember if it was a 52-inch pipe or 54, I can't remember what it was in Worth County, $175 a linear foot. 2 years ago, we were ordering 72-inch pipe for 80. So,
Now, that metal.
yes.
Metal has gone nuts.
So is plastic because of the polymers, kind of similar polymers in paint and everything else. So that stuff's all increased, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on prices too. So, one thing we've got going on too is we've got, we're noticing a lot of litter on the River Road. I may come next week with a resolution for putting up litter signs on the road with the fines. I think that it's something, if anything, I guess, I don't know that they mean a lot, other than if somebody does catch somebody littering, at least if they're enforceable, we could ticket. Otherwise, just a reminder to quit throwing trash out more than anything else. But
Well, isn't that a common, we do have
there's an ordinance, I
There is
suppose.
an
ordinance on littering.
In the past, this time of year, I've put stuff out on Facebook and done public service announcements. Encourage people to take off the river what they bring to the river, because we do get a lot of litter. I was on the River Road last night, and beer cans by 2 poles, and so maybe between Adam and I, and we can do something to ask people to clean up after themselves. Might help a little bit.
I hate this, sign's a wonderful thing, but
Yeah,
people don't seem to care
Yeah.
whether there's a sign there or not.
they don't, but I guess sometimes it's a reminder. If we don't have to put them up. If we want to, we can. I just thought maybe it's something we could discuss. To be enforceable, they got to be resolute. So
Yep.
The other thing that I think about, and I'll just throw this out, some of the more popular tubing and kayaking rivers in Wisconsin have collection points for their beer cans and pop cans. And then the county or whoever essentially benefits by that collection point. So I don't know, it's just another thing to watch, but if we had some collection points from Otrano all the way down to Spring Park, they might get used.
2 poles might be a good place to put one.
We could
I'll just throw that out, Adam, you think about it?
Yeah, we could throw some out. We're trying to get Pollard's old containers anyway, so they stop collecting cans. They've got like 6 or 8 of those bins that are already ready to go.
Yeah, if we could do that and then advertise the locations of them, it might help.
Yeah, I know.
I think that'd be a good idea is, once you get them established, put it out on social media, because that'll be a point that people can talk about while they're tubing, we're coming up, and how about patrolling that? Do you usually have a guy that, or is that, the River Road, just to have people that know that or see that?
Yeah, so Todd, we're on the River Road, but it's like anything else, with 1 or 2 guys, we're just not camped out on that River Road. But we
Correct.
are up and down it.
Okay, just so
Yeah.
you're up and down.
Yep, and the DNR is, because they're doing, enforcement checks on fishermen and boaters and stuff, so the game wardens are down there also. So, we are visible as much as we can. Yeah.
We can wait on it too, it's
Yeah.
not a big issue, I just wanted to bring it up that if
Just
we wanted to.
what you come up with into the future, Rich.
Yep. And then we'll be working on the speed zone for north of Statesville here. Maybe I can have something ready for you next week for resolution on the speed zone, going from 45 and then down to 25 instead of just going from 55 to 25, so.
I see you do have the sign east to
North. Pardon?
the flashing,
Are they up now, Mike?
yeah, it's out there.
Good.
The city must have put something up
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Both the north and south end,
The north end.
north end? Good.
Yep.
I haven't been
So
up
that
there.
should help, tells your speed.
Yes. Yep.
Be finishing up trying to finish up the plans for a Trino Dam project so they can get something built yet this fall. Been working on that the last week and a half. We'll have a pre-con May 11th for the Foothill paving project. Don't know exact time yet. I'm coordinating with the contractor on that, so they haven't given me any indication other than a pre-con, so. It's really all I've got for you this morning unless you guys have any questions.
No, now going back to the Otrano Dam.
Yep.
And this is more of an Adam question. Means that the river's so low and dry, when did they plan on, it's late fall when they were gonna attack that, or?
Well, it kinda stinks, we basically lost a year due to COVID, DNR shut down, so they didn't have the plans to Rich to review till January here, February. So now he's reviewing their plans, once he puts his stamp on it, they can go for permits, which takes 90 days. And then they have to do a public notice, and then they can get the bids in.
Okay, just curious
Yeah,
because
I know.
we've been dry for 6 months, and one of these days the faucet's gonna open up. Now would be about the time to take the dam out.
That's how it usually goes.
So, all right, thank you. Moving on, the county home discussion of possible action. So Jim, I think you probably,
I got the bids from the two contractors that proposed as far as to do the demolition of the project. I quoted Mayor's Digging and I quoted Pop Excavating. One of them came in at $14,500, the other one came in at $7,500. If you were interested in approving either one of those dollar amounts.
7,000 to bury it?
$7,500.
Who's
That
that one
must-
from?
Well, we're just
Oh,
from one of those two.
from one of those two?
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable.
That sounds very, both sound reasonable.
They're both the same as far as 3 feet underground. I told them what I wanted, and it's on here, so it's not like one of them is missing out on anything. They're both the same.
Do we have to cover it then, or?
If they have to dig any extra dirt to bury it, then they'll use some of that dirt to cover some of the rubble. But then anything else, road department's gonna haul dirt in, supply the dozer, and then it'll get leveled that way. So they're not hauling anything. These contractors are not hauling anything in.
BLP stands.
You're gonna, that's part of it also, that'll be dug out and put in a hole, and that'll be done. The asphalt driveway stays the same, I told him to leave that there, because I wasn't sure what the future plans of the place were gonna be, and so far, that's still usable, so.
Will they demolish that little, where the lunch tables used to be out there to the south? Will they dig into any of that area?
Remember where that shelter house
That little
is?
shelter
Yeah.
house?
Shelter.
I didn't include that, no.
Good, because I was gonna say, if they're gonna bury in there, and that shelter house is gonna get destroyed. I've had a couple people that have been questioning what we were gonna do with that, and I said, we were gonna leave that there
Yeah.
for the future.
But there's also a chunk of concrete slab, I don't know what it was ever used for, that's south of the asphalt horseshoe.
Now, did that have something to do with that basketball hoop?
Okay, I didn't include that because I didn't know if possibly conservation someday put a picnic table on the thing or whatever, so that's not part of it.
Good. Okay. Well, I would say that sounds both very reasonable for,
was kinda surprised at the difference of the two.
Well, my new
Even-
one's busy, you know, they got a lot of work.
14,000 sounds too reasonable too, let alone go down to 7.
7,500.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, I didn't mention who had what because I didn't figure that mattered. I'll let you know after.
They're both
if you-
good,
if-
so.
Yeah, if you wanna approve one of them, then I'll tell you whose is whose, so.
Well, that takes some motions.
I take a motion to approve the 7,500. I mean, I think they're both
I'll second.
good contractors.
Mike has made a motion, Todd has seconded. Any further discussion? Rachel?
Roll call, Jim,
Aye.
Todd,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye. Tops was the 7,500.
That passed. I thank them for that low bid. Thank
That's all.
very generous offer to us. So, yeah. Is there any more to discuss then on this, Jim? How about the asbestos? Have you heard anything on?
No, he replied with an email that said, remind me when I said I would do that.
Now?
So I told him,
Anytime.
I told him what he said. Initially it was end of April, first part of May. He hasn't replied to me back yet.
Okay.
First of May, I'm gonna shoot him an email and start reminding him every 2 weeks that, where you at with things.
Yeah. Okay. Remind him that we do have further commitments for that building as soon as he's done, so we can move on that as
Is
quickly
there a
as possible.
timeline on the demolishing, or not, or is it just
There's nothing specified
not
on it,
specified?
no.
When you get, clue them in, we want to make sure that if there's a time capsule
Yeah.
underneath that
Save that.
one block, and we want that block.
No, that has a date on it, right? That's
Yep.
what you're talking about there?
It thought that there could be a time capsule there with that block.
You know, I'm sure they can paw that off of there. They're not gonna have it so that it's a
No,
great
No.
cube. I mean, so if we
No.
want to do anything more, somebody's gonna have to go out there and hammer away on it, but,
yeah,
yeah, but they'll save it up.
looks like something for you and I to do
There
someday.
you go. Yeah.
How about the roof? The fire department still are gonna burn that?
They said-
Said that wouldn't be till June anyway, correct?
They said that they would do that. Yes.
And I would imagine that person that's getting asbestos out, like that done, get his asbestos out before they have the fire. 'Cause that would be
yeah,
a
we won't.
miserable mess.
We won't, no,
because some of that's on the ceiling in there, so yeah, it's gonna have to come
that
off.
would be a requirement that they,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, thank you. And moving on, discussion and action on wetland mitigation bank project. So, Adam, you got anything you wanna add to this?
Yeah, I've had a couple more questions on stuff, and just wanted to kind of simplify the finance side of it a little bit. Got the sheet here. Just tells a little bit about how we could fund it, and, you know, what the reality of selling these things is like a little bit, if I can explain it. I called, gal Abigail Steele from the Army Corps of Engineers, and she's the one that actually transacts the wetland credits. So if you just go on their website, I guess one of the questions that I maybe didn't answer just through the email was the competition side of it. And maybe you guys all got the how we would pay for it portion there. Obviously, when you look at how to pay for it, it's contingent on selling the credits. So you guys are probably like, how do we sell these credits? How do we know, that we're going to be able to do that? And at least that's where I would be thinking if I was you. But we're in competition with these three banks below: Blackhawk, Hinneman, and Smoketown. And when you look on the website, it says there's a bunch of credits available, but you have to look at just our service area, and you have to look at just our type of credits. So there's woodland credits, there's wetland credits, and then there's a ton of stream bank credits. So if you're building a road and you mess up a woodland credit, you gotta go for those credits. If you mess up a stream, you gotta go for the stream. If you mess up emergent, you go for the emergent. So these are the actual credits that are in direct competition with us. So Blackhawk has 12 available right now. Heinemann has 2.6 and Smoketown has 6.8. Now their banks change just like ours. They get to do the same schedule we do. So it's like 15% of their credits, you know, before they build, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what stages of their projects they're at and how many are remaining total. We can get all that information. The gal said if you're interested in that, she'll call in on the meeting right now. She's from the Army Corps. I just have to give her a call.
I'm on Adam, by the way.
Okay, so we have Nicole and then Abby, are you there? I don't know if Abby's there.
Yeah, this is Abby.
Oh, okay. So she's here with us.
And Nicole's here too.
Okay. So if there's any other questions about it, I didn't know where you guys are at really. I talked to a couple of you and some of you were busy and some of you said, yeah, it sounds good. And some said, I don't know. So,
We're in the Rock Island District, correct?
yep.
Okay, when I went on there, there's, including ours, there's 10 other pending construction going on. 10 other places pending. Butler County, Blackhawk, another one in Blackhawk, Marshall, Pocahontas, Shelby, Hardin. A lot of, yeah, and it doesn't give acres. I mean, 2 of them have the acres, but the other 9 do not.
Okay.
So there's a lot pending.
Yeah, the confusing part of that is knowing where your service area boundary is, and that's when Adam's right on, you know, as far as the active mitigation banks within your service area, those are the competition that you have today.
Right, we're in the Rock Island service area,
You know,
correct?
We're in the upper Cedar River.
no, the entire state is not your service area. Your service area is called the Cedar. So you only have to look at that service area, which goes through Cedar Rapids, but it doesn't quite make it to Iowa City.
Right, I
It
see
doesn't go
that.
as far west as Hardin County or Marshall County, but that's not within your service area. So this is Abby. So in the Cedar service area, there are currently 4 active banks and 3 pending banks. Now, of the 4 active banks, there's only 3 of them that have emergent credits, which is what you'd be in direct competition with. The other pending one is you, and there's 2 other string banks pending. So I don't have any other emergent wetland banks pending in your service area. So Blackhawk, like you said, there's Blackhawk, there's Smoketown and Hyman. Those are the ones that you'd be in direct competition with. And it's a business. We can't guarantee you'll sell credits. I can tell you that emergent credits are the fastest selling of all of our mitigation, because that's most of the impacts that people have with projects of emergent credits. So we've had no problems with people selling emergent credits around the state in general. So if that gives you any more fuzzy, we don't really have a problem with people selling. But again, this is a business. So when people come in and have impact, let's say Walmart comes in and wants to build Walmart, and they're going to impact 2 acres of wetlands. They have to mitigate for that. Anything over 1/10 of an acre that you lost, that's lost, they have to mitigate for. So that 2 acres, we are then telling them to go on the ribbons, or we give them the information, and they type in their lat long, and there's a find credits button. They type in the lat long in their project, and all of the banks that have credits in that service area pops up. We then tell them, you should be calling all of those banks to try to wheel and deal your way into buying credits. So it's a business. You guys, again, you'll be in a competition with Smoketown, Blackhawk, and Heinemann. But it's a business, depending on who sells their credits for a little less. I can't tell you what the other banks sell their credits for.
Yeah.
But you guys can figure that out eventually. But you just need to decide what you want to sell your credits at. And again, we haven't had a problem with emergent credit selling. But it is a business and it's long term. So I know one bank made up their money and they're already making money in less than a year. That's not common, but most people make up their money over 5 to 10 years. Depends on what type of bank they have and what type of credit they have.
So some of these guys that are doing these banks are private. There's a few county conservation boards that have done it too. And the ones that are private are really profit driven. They're trying to make money off the deal where I'd be happy if we covered our costs, but it looks like some good potential to make some money as well. So I think we we could set our price to where we're gonna cover our cost. That if we go in at that 30,000, that's the low end. And, you know, somebody's gonna probably pick the lower cost over some that are going for 35 and up right now, or whatever. Or you could even go down to 29.
And Adam, this is Nicole again. I can talk about costs as we deal with that side of things. You know, in addition to developing mitigation banks, we also have projects that require permits that impact wetlands. So we definitely take both sides of the coin. Banks, emergent credits in this service area, we're selling for $45,000 a year ago. So $45,000 per credit. Now that there's more competition in the market, that price has gone down to about $40,000 per credit. And it's trending towards 35, which is why we estimated 30, which I thought was actually really low, but I think that's a really good estimate for the average price of your credit, just with the pending competition that you guys have now. So that's why we estimated that in the benefit cost analysis at 30,000 a credit. We definitely think credits are going to sell more initially, or for more initially, but at the end of the day, you know, 5-10 years down the road, we're probably looking at an average of 30,000 credits, or $30,000 per credit.
All right, thank you. I guess, whatever you guys' question.
And then also, I just wanted to let you guys know that you guys aren't the first county conservation to develop a mitigation bank. Dallas County Conservation and Johnson County Conservation both have mitigation banks. Nicole, that's what I was gonna say. If you guys don't have a warm fuzzy on this, I can get Adam the information for Dallas County and for Johnson County. Johnson County is relatively new, but there's I think just finished construction, but they've already sold quite a bit of credit. So if you guys want to call them and talk to them about this process and see what they've done, what they've sold, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to give you any advice on it. And I just approved another bank yesterday, Shelby County out west. They're not in any competition with you, and they have a street bank anyway, but I just approved them. So a lot of the counties are starting to do this because they realize that they can pay for restoration projects and make money for future restoration projects as well.
Well, maybe I looked at this wrong, but Rock Island District, which I thought we were in, but it has, you know, Blackhawk County and that in there. And there was 641 acres available from 2001 through 2019, and they've only sold 144 credits out of that, so that's only like 22% sold in 18
So
years,
what's
you know.
available isn't what's
So-
available. So
Right, that's what I went by,
Right.
the acres, the ones that were sold and what was available, and that's what I come up with. But maybe I wasn't looking at this right, but to me, you know, and then there's all these pending ones that are, there's 2 of them in Blackhawk County pending. And one's 69 acres, and I think the other one's 10 acres, maybe?
So the other 2 in the Deer service area that are pending are stream banks. That means that people that impact streams have to buy stream credits. They have no competition, they have nothing to do with emergent credits at all.
What's an emergent credit?
It's a type of wetland we're
An
building.
emergent wetland, there's 2 different wetlands. There's emergent wetlands and there's forested wetlands. So the emergent would be like the grasses and the wet areas. The forested would be those areas with trees. Iowa doesn't have as much forested wetland as we do emergent wetlands. So having forested probably wouldn't be as smart because we sell much more emergent credit in Iowa than we do. Again, it's our best seller in Iowa. I would have no problem with going on the rivets, this is Abby from the court, going on the rivets with you guys and showing you how to look at it and seeing what's available.
I did the same thing Mike did, looked under that Rock Island. I thought that's.
Yeah, I thought that's our district, Rock Island, I put in, they come up with that map, and it goes, yeah, we're in the Rock
Yeah,
Island
so Rock
district.
Island District, I have the whole state of Iowa, but.
Oh, that ain't the whole state of Iowa.
8 service areas.
Rock Island wasn't the whole state of Iowa, it went up and down to,
She
Cedar
said she's in
Rapids.
charge of all of Iowa.
oh, you're in charge of, okay. Yeah, I was looking at the Rock Island District, because I thought that's what we were in.
Yeah, and you can't really go by acres of land that are developed into a mitigation bank either. I mean, you know, for the amount of credit that's available, Adam, would you mind saying that again, the emergent credits at the other banks that are available right now?
Yeah, Blackhawk has 12, Heineman has 2.6, and Smoketown has 6.8, so roughly 22
Okay, so,
acres or so.
okay, so that's probably in the ballpark of like 600 acres of land for 20 credits. So you guys really, I mean, somewhere in like the 400 to 600 acre range, you can't really say, oh, well, there's all these acres of land available for these things. We shouldn't develop ours. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the credits that are available that you would be in competition with, which is at, you know, 15 to 20 credits. So.
600
And
acres.
just like Adam said, you guys also receive your credits over time, and so do the other banks. It's not like day one comes and, you know, you're going to be competing instead of 20 credits, it's now 90 credits. You know, it's not going to change that drastically. It also, as Adam is aware, it takes a long time to approve a mitigation bank. So the ones that Abby has pending that are streams, and she doesn't have any emergent wetlands pending right now, that's a really good sign.
I guess I look at it a little bit differently. It looks like it's something that can pay for itself fairly easily. We have a bunch that don't sell after it gets paid for. We have a wetlands that's out there that's a good thing for everything. The road department, I know since I've worked for it, we've had to mitigate twice as far as projects that we've done. And one of them was Jack Fisher's Bridge going north. I wasn't in the office doing the paperwork at that time, but I'm sure we had to buy into a bank somewhere. So it's not something that this is just a rare thing that happens. Another one had to do with, in the 90s, I don't know where that project was, but we've had to do it ourselves. And rather than, we're going to have to buy right away probably north of Kirkwood. I doubt very much that there's any wetlands there, but when I surveyed out the Jack Fisher Hill, the bridge that we had to build the road on, I know I said, this is not a wetlands, because I didn't know the definition of a wetlands. Well, it doesn't matter. If the DNR says it's a wetlands, you're not going to do the project until you satisfy them. So it very well, you could run into wetlands when you don't even realize you are running into them in projects that we do. We wouldn't have to buy anything. We'd have something right here that we are creating. So
But this you couldn't use for a stream.
that's okay. That's probably so.
That's correct.
Yep. Okay.
So how do you make a wetland stream?
How do you get a credit for a
No,
stream bank one?
yeah, to build a stream, how do you, to get those streams in credits, how do you build a stream?
So let's say we, instead of building a emergent wetland at the county farm, we took Spring Creek that runs through there and restored it. How you restore a stream is you de-channelize it, which wouldn't work at this site, of course, because of the landowners. And they're not the best market to get into right now either, but essentially what you would do is take it and put the lines back into it. You'd wind the stream and then you'd slope it properly so there's no cut banks, and then you'd reseed it with native vegetation to hold that. You might have riprap in places, things like that, to restore the natural flow of a stream and get all the benefits that it provides, whereas this one's more of a wet, low, bowl-shaped wetland. That's kind of what we're looking at.
We did build a wetlands, like the south of the Dino Quarry, south of Castle Over Road. I don't know if you helped with that, Steve, or not.
No, I did not.
That was one of the ones we did in the 90s. I was out there with the excavator, and somebody else helped me. We did just what Adam said. Leroy designed a rock riprap type structure that changed things. It was all on county ground, so it's not like we were backing water up anybody, but we created a real small area of it. So we've been involved with it ourselves.
approached me too on a CREP wetland, have you heard of that?
Yep, crop wetland
They did
conservation.
it at their grandma's place and it worked wonderful. They didn't cost them anything, all the money come from the government or whatever, and then they got paid like 1.5 times the rental rate for, he said that was a big money maker for them.
It's a good deal. Yep,
Is
that's,
that optional? Well,
it's
then you
for-
don't have to put out money for.
if you're a private landowner.
So, you can't use any government money for mitigation banks, just a heads up.
Yeah, you can't combine the two either, but yeah, it's a separate, different program.
I mean, that guy said that would be a good.
And the landowners
Things to
would
do.
have the stroke on that too.
At this area, that's more of a deeper water one a lot of times.
Yeah, I don't know, he said they put in, I forget, 30 acres or something, they went and bought a flat black 80 with the money they got.
Yeah, there's two good ones
That's
that I
what
know about.
was telling me about that, that's it.
Charlie Felt has one, and Jared and Mike Stricker, I don't know whose name's on it.
That's who
Yep.
called me on this.
They're pretty cool projects. They're a little bit different than this one, but, yeah.
They thought that's what was gonna be proposed here.
Oh, I
I
see.
told them, no, it's something totally different.
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, theirs is a different wetland because it's deep water, but it's still considered emergent. It wouldn't be a fit for this project is all.
Well,
It is a good program.
Well, do we have any motions to proceed with the Wetland Mitigation Bank project?
I'll move to approve it. I'll move to approve the wetland mitigation bank project.
Jim has made a motion.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Todd is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Rachel?
Roll call. Steve,
Nay.
Mike,
Nay,
Mark,
Nay.
Jim,
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
So
I'd
that,
just like to go ahead, get a little more information. I don't wanna kill it completely, but,
Yeah, I guess, for the folks who just voted nay, I mean, this is Nicole with Snyder. You just heard from Abby Steele with SCORE, who runs this program, saying this is basically a for sure thing. This is a really good, strong county investment. You're gonna make your money back over time for the project, if not profit, which is what we estimate for you, at the very low end price of $30,000 per credit. For a county, this is an alternative funding source, and I'm just not quite sure why you're voting no. Maybe if you ask us a couple questions, you can clarify some things, but this is a very much a no-brainer project if you're looking for an alternative revenue source.
well, I'll have something to say, I don't know, to me, it's kind of a gamble, you're gonna put out 200,000 initially, and then there's gonna be more costs incurred after that if you don't sell any, so it's kind of a gamble. So are we in a position to gamble with taxpayers' money, or, because there's no guarantee on this, you can't say it's guaranteed, and I don't feel that we're in that position to take a gamble with taxpayers' money. I don't feel that's what we're here for, That's my opinion on it. So, if you could guarantee, yeah, we're gonna sell it, then I'd be for it, but, there's no guarantee, like I said, all these pending ones that we don't know about, there could be a glut in the market, then here we sit, so I don't feel we're in a gambling
We do.
position, that's my opinion.
Well, I feel like with the information that you have in front of you, you are aware of the future competition within at least the next 2 years. There's not going to be any other emergent mitigation banks opening up. Yes, you do have direct competition with 3 other mitigation banks That doesn't mean that your credits aren't going to sell. There is a need in this market. As we get calls, and again, we're coming from the consultant side, and we've got Abby Steele on the phone coming in from the regulatory side of things, but we get calls all the time. Were things slow in 2020? Of course, because they were slow everywhere in 2020 because of COVID. But oh my gosh, projects are ramping up in 2021. We're getting calls for mitigation bank credits all the time. Can I tell you that you are going to make your money back, you know, the first season right after construction? I cannot tell you that, and Abby can't tell you that either. Will you make your money back on construction over time? Yes, that is a guarantee. There is no mitigation bank that hasn't made their money back over construction over time. This isn't a program that should be looked at as a gamble. It is a long-term investment and alternative revenue source for the county.
But the land's not going anywhere, so in the future, if we wanna do it, we can do it, can't we? And then to sell them for 30,000, why not go to the 40 or 45 instead of giving them away?
Oh, don't get me wrong. We will be on the higher end of credits initially. I will firmly advise the county to sell credit to be in competition at the market. If the bank was approved today, we would be selling credits for between 40 and 45,000. But we have a year out for approval because we have to go through the regulatory process for approval, and then it has to be constructed. So I would not look at this project as a gamble with taxpayer dollars. Oh no, that is not what this is. This is a solid, long-term investment. And again, this is Abby from the court. I can get an email from other counties who let you know how they've done it. Because they're in the same position as you. There's taxpayers' money. I mean, we've got Shelby, we've got Johnson County. Polk County Conservation is doing a 200-acre bank right now that's almost approved. Polk County. And they're not your service area thing for this because their bank is really big. But so a lot of these counties are jumping on board because they see what a great investment. Again, from the core perspective, I cannot guarantee anything. Okay? Again, is it a good investment? If I had the money, I would make it back. And if there was a conflict of interest for me working for the court, I would make it back right now if I could. But again, court can't guarantee. We're here to do the approval process, to do the inspection, just to oversee the whole banking process in the whole state. So all I can give Adam and you guys is the information on hand right now and answer any questions over time. But really, if you want a better warm and fuzzy feeling, call Johnson County Conservation. They would be more than happy to talk to you and tell you what they think. Now, I wouldn't call Shelby County because I proved them yesterday, and they're still kind of, they're a little leery of it as well, like you guys would be as well. But they saw the final line, and they're willing to take a risk on this. And Dallas County, too. Mike Wallace with Dallas County, we work with them all the time as far as mitigation sales go, as well as, trail projects for Dallas County. They were one of the first wetland mitigation banks developed in Iowa. So Mike Wallace with Dallas County would also be a great resource. If you guys have further questions, don't be afraid of the unknown. Again, mitigation is tough. It's a tough concept to explain, but this is a very real program. And just because it's not something that you're very familiar with doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't consider this project.
Okay. Well, anyways, we've had our vote for today. We'll address this in the future down the road. So, thank you.
What will constitute talking about it down the road? I mean, what's going to change, or just let's run with it?
Well,
and why would we do it later? I guess I don't quite understand those two thoughts. First thing, what's going to make us discuss it later down the road? That's the first question I've got.
I guess if there's a need, or check these other counties
Okay.
around
Yeah.
So then why would we wait to do this in the future at a later date?
Well, it's just like a school bond issue, you run it until it goes.
No, it's not like a school bond issue.
It is right now.
No. This is a project that's been set up. I don't really see any construction costs getting any cheaper. I don't see where the parameters of the project are really gonna change. I don't know how it could change. So it's not like a school bond issue where you're not gonna put an addition on because of the expense. So why would we not do it now as compared to why would we wait to do it later? Anybody?
I don't plan on waiting to do it later. It's perfectly good the way it is.
Okay.
And there's landowners around it that are still not for it.
Okay, any other thoughts?
Well, if there was more demand, you know, or two, you know, there's not an avenue of the Saints going to, or anything like that, that's gonna create a big demand. I'm sure that when they did that, there was a demand.
Those are all attractions that the county should be interested in.
I mean,
It helps the county to grow.
Yeah, the need, you guys are saying there's not a need, there's a need for water quality, there's a need for slowing down flooding, there's a need for wildlife, first and foremost, that's why you build a
We
wetland.
have a place for wildlife.
That's why we build wetlands to begin with, okay, so, and there's a need for project funding, we've got parks that people are in demand to rehabilitate, we've got other wildlife areas that are coming up for sale, we've got all the projects I've listed to you guys. I understand, you know, there's a need for funding in that regard, so this is why the project came up, so that's kind of the need, and as far as doing it now or later, I think what we're hearing is, you know, you guys just don't wanna do the project, that's your prerogative, if that's how you wanna handle it, but let's not say it's because it's not a good time or it's not a good need. Right now, the credits are high, if you get more banks in there and you wait, you just risk losing the advantage that we have right now. Right now, we're shovel ready, you guys pulled the trigger, we're selling credits a year from now. There's federal infrastructure money coming down, so there will be projects, and we're in the same bank as Blackhawk and Cedar Falls and all those. They're always building roads, they're always expanding, you go down there by Menards and all that, and look at the land just keep getting developed. They're gonna be displacing wetlands, you've heard it from the Corps engineers, that they're gonna have projects, they're gonna have credits available, they have their own money, they'd do it. I don't really see, the hesitation, in that regard. You trust the Corps to, you know, determine what bad stuff can go on the land, you know, our county allows manure management plans, the master matrix, we don't challenge that, we leave that to the Corps and the DNR. But then when they advise that this is a good project, we're skeptical. So I don't really get it. I know we've put a lot of work into this thing, and I haven't heard one valid reason why we wouldn't. But it's your guys' decision, I respect that, no matter how you choose, but those are the thoughts of me and my board, so. If you'd like us to revisit this, we'd love another shot at it, but.
I believe there's, in the plans of interchange going in at Floyd County on the avenue. Would that qualify for?
I was gonna say, gotta fill in wetlands, you know, if they're just on bare ground, that
I mean,
There's
is that
never
something
been a
that-
bank that hasn't sold out, guys. There's never been one that hasn't, so there's, you know, is there a risk? Of course, there's always a risk, but we wouldn't be bringing it to you if it was something we're gonna lose money on.
So is Bremer County in our district? Bremer, B-R-E-M-E-R?
That'd be a question for, they're not in our direct.
Bremer County is within it's partly within the service area, yes.
Okay. Well, there's two, what is there in Bremer? There's one that went in 2016, 62 acres, they sold 0. There's one that went in 1974 acres, they sold 0.
So you gotta know that the one that went in 2016 is only a stream mitigation bank. Again, it doesn't matter how much acres the mitigation bank is, it matters about the resource type. They're not in competition with you. They are not selling wetland credits. They are selling streams. So their acreage does not count against you at all. and it should not matter to you at all. You are focused on wetland mitigation bank credit, which in your market are the three mitigation banks that Adam's already discussed today. I've got a hop off, guys. I appreciate you listening. I don't know, Adam, if you plan on revisiting this, if you just want to keep me posted.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
So
All
Mark,
right, Abby, we'll talk to you soon.
Mark, you mentioned that
Okay.
we're gonna
Hey,
call these
This is
counties.
Abby from the Corps. I have the information out from Blackhawk. So Blackhawk is one of the ones that you'd be in competition with. They have sold, since they opened in 2017, they have sold 14.79 emergent credits. Okay? Smoketown just opened up not too long ago, and they have sold, they just opened up, so they've only sold 0.16 credits. But again, they just opened in July of last summer. So the strain banks that you're talking about that haven't sold anything, the strain is a completely different beast. See, they were trying to sell their credits too high and no one could afford them. So that's why we're not selling as many strain credits right now, because they're still trying to figure out the market with strain. Emergent and forested credits have been around long enough, they've already figured out the market. So don't even consider the strain banks are completely different. And again, we're still trying to figure out our stream method. So if you're going to compare apples to apples, only look at emergent credits.
Okay. I see Blackhawk County has 2 of them pending. Butler County, they must be in our district, ain't they? They have 1 pending. What do theirs amount to? You know?
So again, the only 2 pending banks, I'm in charge of the whole state, so I know all the pending banks. The only 2 pending banks, 3 pending banks in your area are you, and there's 2 stream banks. There's no other wetland. So the stream banks are Beaver Creek and Dry Run Creek, and they're both streams.
What county?
So those are the only 2 pending.
What-
Beaver Creek, hold on.
Blackhawk, Butler?
I have too many banks.
Yeah, I know, I just,
Beaver, no, it's all right. Beaver Creek is in Butler County,
Butler,
and,
okay.
yeah, and Dry Run Creek is in Blackhawk County.
Okay, Blackhawk has 2 of them. Blackhawk has 2 of them listed on the website as being pending. 2 different programs, or 2 different.
So Blackhawk County, let me look at my map really quick. Blackhawk. Where is Blackhawk County? Oh, I see it. Yeah, no, so those are the only ones in my area are Beaver Creek and Dry Run Creek. I don't know what other one you're seeing.
Okay. One was
Yeah.
69 acres and another one was 10 acres.
Okay, I'll look at it, but I can tell you right now, you guys are the only pending emergent bank in the Cedar service area. There's a lot of other pending banks all around the state of Iowa. Like, I have a whole bunch in the Mississippi service area right now, because we don't have hardly any credits in the Mississippi service area, and we are in dire need. And DOT is in dire need of credits, because they need to buy them. Hey, this is Nicole again, before I hop off. Are you guys looking at ag credits or something? Because 10 acres isn't allowed to be a mitigation bank, so I'm just curious if you guys have the right information in front of you.
I don't know, it was in that Ribbit website.
Minimum wetland bank acreage is 25, so we're like right at the minimum for this project. So 10 acres wouldn't fly for a mitigation bank for this type of credit source. Now, if you're looking at ag wetland banking, that might be a little bit different story. And that's not in competition with Section 404 of the Clean Water Act, which is what the Corps oversees. That would be Farm Service Agency under USDA, and totally different credit types. So if you guys are, maybe that's the confusion. Maybe you guys are thinking there's way more competition than there is because you're looking at Farm Service Agency instead of Ribbits on 404.
No, it was on Ribbit.
Either way, you're kind of hearing it directly from the Corps who oversees the program. Abby definitely knows what she's got pending. So Those two banks that are pending are streams, and that's all you should be concerned with. There is no pending emergent wetland bank other than your own in your service area. Thanks for a great meeting, guys. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Mark, were you gonna call Johnson, Shelby, and Dallas counties then, and then maybe report back to us as far as what you found out?
I'd probably get ahold of someone, because I looked on that, but she gave us that website that night, and it showed all kinds of them. So to me, there was.
That's what I'm going by too, is what's on that website.
The website's a little hard to navigate if you're not used to it.
Well, I went by the Rock Island District, because that's what we're located in, that's where all these other ones are located in.
Right, this is the horse's mouth, like you don't have to look at anything else, this is what we're up against.
Again, as I know, I'm not trying to talk too much. I know you guys are busy, but if you want me to go through the Ribbons website with you, I can share my screen and show you exactly what you need to be looking at in the future. I have no problem with that, just let me know.
Sounds like a plan.
Adam, can you get their contact information to anybody here that wants to look at that?
Absolutely,
Thank
yeah.
you.
I have one more question. The preliminary construction costs are $225, but what was the total construction cost, wasn't it?
So for building it, that's what it is, and then you have management, maintenance and stuff on down the line. But before that happens, you can open up more credits for sale. So that's kind of the to get started thing. The rest of it's all in that prospectus and the other information you've been given. And I can sit down with you on the costs if you want to later.
Yeah, I seen.
I don't want to keep you guys all day, I know you're looking, but the main thing here with the decision is, we're paying the engineers right now. So if we want to make some calls and revisit next week or the week after, that's great. If you guys have your minds made up, we'll cancel the contract, but it sounds like we're willing to make a few calls. I'll keep them going for now. I'll keep them going for now.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we gotta move back. We gotta go to the sheriff's report for March, which we never approved.
Yeah.
We did?
Yep.
Okay,
Motion by Weir, second by Mayor.
all right. Had it in my head, but we quiet. Okay. Discussion and action on Mitchell County credit card policy. Rachel, I think you're gonna have.
So in the last 2 years, in the audit from Renner and Bergstrom, there is a little bit of a credit card policy in the handbook. However, that must not have been up to the standards of what they're looking for. So I worked with Mike, and he helped me come up with it. This is very similar to another county credit card policy that another county has. One of the changes, I guess, with this would be having one main county credit card that we keep in the auditor's office, and other departments would have a card that is similar, but it has its own unique, so we can tell who's actually using what card. I know Adam had one question about sometimes they make purchases that's larger than the 2,500. He as a department head would have that okay to say, yes, we need to make this purchase. So that shouldn't be a problem. I would assume he's probably the one ordering it anyways. I told him not to worry about that part, since he can okay it, whether it's him or one of his employees have to make that purchase. Otherwise, I did send it out to other department heads just to see if there were any other questions, and I didn't hear back from anyone else. But I just wanted, at least if we don't approve it today, we need to have something in place by the end of June for rent.
What's the county attorney?
Yep, I sent it to him. I did take out one part, on the second page for 6A, where it kind of details the expense, or they want an expense detail of your charges for like a hotel. It had how many people were in the room. That seemed a little bit excessive, just, I mean, I don't know. So.
Give supervisors a little bit of time here to read through this completely, if they haven't.
Are they used a lot?
Yeah, I think one of their big things that was a problem was that Amazon, we got that switched over, so they'll actually bill us, we don't have to use a credit card. There's also, the other option for some of those places, if it's over the 2,500, asking them, the department head should try and ask them if they can bill us versus using a credit card. It just, better paper trail, I guess, on our side, and that's what the auditor would prefer.
What do we got for credit cards out there right now?
Well, we have the main one that a lot of people for lodging and going to schools, they come grab ours, and we do have it, a little checkout where they check it out and how many ever days they're gonna be gone. Obviously conservation has one, I believe home health has one, and I'd assume secondary roads does too. But I think they all kinda got set up on their own, where under this is, we have one main one, and then each department that needs one can get one that with its own ID on there. But it's still all under one.
I'd say the closer we keep an eye on it, the better.
Yeah,
I mean,
yep.
if we
Well,
get
this way it will be numbered, the card will be numbered for
The-
whatever
yeah.
department that has it,
Right.
and there'll be better control of who's spending.
And the Amazon thing is, yeah, when I sat in on that meeting, that's, as long as you got that corrected, that's.
Yep, and so we have it now, we're both, Renee and myself, we have full access to see each department what is getting spent on the bill. So they'll bill us, it'll be everyone's bill on once a month, I believe it's either the first or second day of the month. Where if you guys had your own, if you logged in, you'd only be able to see your own department, your own transactions. So everyone won't be able to see what everyone's doing, but if we have to go in and verify who actually spent what, we can see that. A little bit, I don't know, if it's easier than the one click, you know how Amazon is so easy to buy stuff on there that hopefully we can kind of cut back on some of unneeded expenses if possible.
I feel, I guess, if you put this together and you feel like it's gonna work, I'm okay with it. I'm not sure how you guys feel.
Well, if it's-
I only feel
Now the
confident because one
attorney
person
approved
helped
it.
me. I mean, he's the one looking, he's been looking at other people's credit card policies, so.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. I'll move to make a motion that we, start June 1st, is that right, or do we can?
So
or, I
we
mean,
would,
July.
if you guys were to approve it, we'd put it into place and we'd get it added to the handbook right away. And then we'd send out, there's a credit card policy acknowledgement that you've read it, to the people that need to sign this. And if it's someone new, they would end up coming into the office, they'd sign it when they had to use it, kind of as a checkout that they're aware of how to do everything. And it will take some time to get everything switched over to the new, all under one kind of credit card. We're currently still working on getting Lowell's name off, that's been a process too, so it would take a little while, it'd probably be June before we get it all settled. But
I'll move to make a motion that we, start using our new credit card policy as soon as you get everything changed over.
I'll second it.
Todd has made a motion, Mark has seconded, any further discussion? Hearing none, Rachel?
roll call, Todd,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye. All right, that has passed. Moving on, items of note, meetings attended.
I'll go quick. I had two, FMC DCAT. Again, I'll start off with them new, they're,
Know all about it?
going through their budgets. Their year will be ending June 1st, or June 30th also. And moving money where they have to, and getting the accounts up to when they wanna start July 1st. That's pretty much on that one. I had a economic development meeting last night, where, they're working on getting the website finalized. We have the application on the website for the economic development director. We've got 3 in as of yesterday. Tracy's working on commercial and industrial buildings. That seems to be a hot item, but a lot of specs. They wanted loading dock, so big, and they're that's kind of where we're at with trying to get industry into town. So, and that's it.
None this week.
Nothing from me.
Nothing.
All right. Moving on, public comments, and there's nobody to comment, so I guess, is there any comments from supervisors?
Manure management updates was on here.
I
That's
just
on-
leave it
oh,
up.
that's on one, not on the other one, okay. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I didn't see
Well, it's
that.
on this one.
So, with no comments from fellow supervisors, I guess this meeting is over. Thank you.